Well, hello.
Good day.
Good
Oh,
day. We're
boy.
here. We are with another podcast of behind the scenes with Santa and
And Mrs. Claus,
Mrs. Claus.
yes.
So
Oh, and
yeah,
boy, I'll tell you, I'm so excited. The weather's starting to
yes,
turn. It's starting to look like
yes.
fall.
It's fall,
It's
y'all. Yeah,
finally getting a little cooler out here,
it
and
is.
yeah,
It
and I'll
is.
tell you,
Yeah.
and even my mustache and beard are starting to
Yeah.
grow, and I'm
About
starting
that.
to get it
That's no.
ready for the upcoming season
Well,
this
it
year.
always
When I get,
happens this time of year, doesn't it,
isn't
Santa?
that amazing how it
Yeah.
suddenly
Yeah.
just starts to kind of
It
boing
does. It
and
does.
sprouts out
And
there?
that's true. It
It
really
really does every year.
every time this year, this time of year,
I
it's
always think it's so short,
yeah,
in July and August and going, ooh, and then all of a sudden September, it just,
yeah. And he goes,
boing.
look,
Yeah,
it's
so,
growing.
yeah. So today, we're going to talk a little more about St. Nicholas.
Yes, we're going to continue our series that on the history and traditions of Santa Claus because it's really fascinating and it's based on a lot of truths. So and that kind of fascinating, really, especially how it's uh, lasted for all this time, even
Well,
to today.
since 300 AD.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, so yeah, you're talking
long time.
oh, over 2,100 years. So
Yeah.
anyway, but obviously, as we said last time, Nicholas was a real figure,
Hmm.
and he's kind of tied into to Christmas only because of the fact. Well, first of all, um, he died on December 6th.
Yes.
So, and they built a festival around
Uh
him.
huh.
And as what happens in history most times, the holidays kind of get blended together a little bit. And so, a lot of what Nicholas did during his lifetime
Hmm.
is now attributed to Christmas traditions
Correct.
that basically, whether legend or fact, was kind of
Mixed.
associated with him.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, yeah, a few things. Might as well get right into it. A
Yeah.
couple of the things. Obviously, the best known, I think, is the fact of the tradition we have with hanging stockings at Christmas Eve above the fire.
Mhm.
Which, by the way, in Europe, they not only do stockings, but they also do shoes and boots
Mhm.
on the feast of St. Nicholas, which
Right.
is again December 6th, day he died. But they celebrate it like we celebrate Christmas Eve, and they put out their shoes and boots that night.
Yeah.
And then they are given gifts, little tokens, mostly just coins or fruit or little toys, that kind of thing,
Uh
that
huh.
are put into the shoes. How that came about was when St. Nicholas was alive, a father had three daughters,
Yes.
and he was very poor. And back in that day, if you couldn't find a reasonable or suitable husband for your daughters, they were literally sold into like prostitution to help pay the bills.
Yes. Yes.
So Nicholas knew about the three daughters, and I don't know, it's never been told whether it was all one night or over three different nights, but Nicholas gave bags of gold, he stuffed them with gold coins, you know, into their stockings that were hanging by the fire. Now, again, some say stockings, some say it was the shoes that were drying by the fire, but either way, that began the whole tradition of hanging your stocking to get present. And of course, Santa Claus does come and put things in your stocking,
Right.
little toys and
Uh huh.
fruit and that kind of thing, which continues. And again, as we said, 2,100 years later,
Yeah.
here we go
Amazing,
again.
isn't it?
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
nobody doesn't hang a stocking that I'm aware of. And so that's how that all came about, in case you were wondering. Now you know why we hang stockings or put shoes out. The next thing, it's amazing, is, and this kind of developed from the Feast of St. Nicholas, but because of the Feast of St. Nicholas now, one of the biggest things we celebrate Christmas with is cookies.
Yeah.
And this is where this came from. People were making, actually, they made spice cookies in Netherlands and Germany, complete with the miter and the staff and very elaborate looking cookies. But it kind of got the whole cookie situation, and Christmas cookies stemmed from making cookies for the Feast of St. Nicholas.
And just in case you don't know what a mitre or staff, it would be, if you've ever seen a picture of a bishop or a cardinal, and certainly the Catholic faith,
and the Pope,
that would be what that would.
That big tall hat they
Yeah.
wear is a mitre.
Right. So that was what they were doing.
Yeah. So imagine doing that with cookies.
I can't imagine.
The mitre I could see. The staff would be tough.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the whole thing about having Christmas cookies and that kind of thing. And that brings up another point. What do we do with those cookies? We give them to friends.
Yes.
And relatives.
Gift them. Yeah.
We gift them to people, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there is another thing that St. Nicholas, or the Feast of St. Nicholas, kind of began, and that's called random acts of kindness. And whether it was donating to the church, or donating to the poorhouses, or just taking a gift to a friend, all of that was stemmed from the fact that Nicholas, first of all the money he inherited, he gave away even before he was a bishop.
Right.
So he was always helping others and doing random acts of kindness. Some were attributed to him, some were anonymous, but he always started by donating things, especially at Christmas. And that's where that's come from, and that's why we give gifts to friends and relatives.
Just think about today how, when you go into a store, there's so many tins and decorated for Christmas for cookies or baked goods or whatever you might be doing, and obviously giving it as a gift because you're putting it in that decorated tin or a plastic box or whatever you're using. But even to this day, that's obviously something that we do with regularity.
Which I happen to love. I think that's where leaving the cookies for Santa came in too. It's kind of like payback.
Probably too, as a gift for Santa. So
Oh, and that is another thing that is attributed to Saint Nicholas and then Santa Claus, is the feeding of carrots and treats to the reindeer. Because again, Nicholas not only took care of people in the towns and that kind of thing, but he even took care of the animals and tried to make sure that they had feed, and if a farmer needed some extra food for his
livestock or whatever,
then Nicholas would come through and say, well, here you go. And that's where that whole thing about giving reindeer carrots, which I'm going to tell you right now, the best thing reindeer love?
Yes.
Bananas.
Yeah.
They love it.
They do.
I mean, they're soft and they're sweet and they are easy to eat and digest. So the next time you're thinking about carrots, you might want to think about bananas instead.
And they give them a lot of energy.
They give them a tremendous amount of
energy, which they need for Christmas Eve.
And less gas. All that roughage doesn't always help me. Thank you. So, okay. Oh, and I was going to say, obviously, Santa Claus and St. Nicholas are associated with giving gifts to children and making Christmas special for the kids. But did you know that And again, this goes back to the man with the three daughters, but the other one that gets gifts on Christmas because of St. Nicholas is unmarried women,
Yes.
which again ties into those daughters.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you know an unmarried woman that needs a little something extra, you can attribute that to St. Nicholas, because that's what he did, is he made sure that the unmarried women were taken care of, so you can too. And what? You were gonna say?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and of course the one main thing about Christmas that St. Nicholas is most attributed for is me.
Yes.
Santa Claus. I mean, it started, you know, in the Middle East and moved through Europe and then on.
And we'll get into that.
And we'll get into the
more,
journeys of that and
of
how that came.
Kind of bring it a little bit closer to, you know, a couple hundred years ago versus thousands.
Yes.
So.
Yes. But even that, imagine, over 2,000 years, and we still celebrate
I know.
Christmas with St. Nicholas
And stockings.
and of course
And cookies
stockings
and all
cookies
kinds of
and
good
Santa
things.
Claus.
Yeah.
So, and we'll delve into that more. I mean, it's a fascinating story how it kind of moved through. But I wanted to let you know why we still celebrate St. Nicholas and Santa Claus today, and why some of the traditions that you do and put up are related directly to
Yeah, it's
St.
always
Nicholas.
fun to realize that there is an historical bearing to so many of the things actually that we celebrate and do, you know, in our present day. Now, a couple of things we want to, first of all, of course, let you know we do our podcast on the 10th and the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
We have kind of a special announcement. Actually, this is more towards our audio listeners. We will be doing the audio side of our podcast for this month, for the 10th and the 24th. And then we are going to be focusing our attention on our YouTube
Viewership
video
and
podcast.
yes. Uh-huh.
And so we just want to give you a heads up on that so that you can make that transition with us.
Yeah, our audio platform, we're probably going to be making some changes and discontinuing some
Right.
of the
Right.
audio platforms
Mhm.
that we have, because so many more people come to us on YouTube.
On
I mean,
YouTube, and you know, actually, I mean, you know, you can still listen to YouTube.
of course,
You don't have to watch the video if you can't. So
I do it all the time.
so we just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. And of course, you know, make sure that if you haven't already, you subscribe.
Please,
Yes.
please,
Yes.
subscribe. We need more subscribers.
Yes, we
You
do.
know, and please watch these to the end.
I was
mean,
just going
I
to say.
should say that in the beginning instead of always saying it at the end of that.
Uh-huh.
Shame on me.
Yeah.
But please do. Please pay attention to these to the end, because that helps us in our ratings with YouTube and gets us more
Right.
attention
Yeah.
on their
Mhm.
platform. So we would appreciate that.
Yes. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
As always, we appreciate you. We certainly love to hear from you with your comments. And I guess until.
And speaking of that, if you have any questions about St. Nicholas or Santa Claus or
Yeah.
how they relate or tie together, drop me a line. You know, put it in the
Absolutely,
comments. Ask me. You know, if I don't know the answer, which I'd be surprised, I promise I'll find it for
Yes,
you. So
yes.
by all means, please, if you
It
have
always
anything
means so
that you're
much to us.
curious,
So
yeah,
yes.
we love hearing from you guys.
We
Always.
do. We do.
And it's part of my monthly joy. So, but in the meantime, yes. So have a great week.
Yeah.
this
And
week,
until
and
next time.
Yeah, we'll see you
We'll
soon.
see you then. Thanks for joining
Bye
us.
bye.
Bye bye.